Hello everyone, welcome back to our resource geography. Today we will be begin with a new session on resource geography as agriculture as a resource. We will be discussing today with rice as the major agriculture resource. Rice is one of the most important food crop consumed by more than half of the world population. It is a tropical and subtropical crop mostly cultivated in the monsoon lands of Asia. It is the most important and dominant crop of intensive subsistence agriculture. It is the staple food crop of Southeast Asian nations. The intensity of rice cropping is so high, hence in the Southeast Asian nations, where it is cultivated twice or thrice a year. Rice is an excellent source of carbohydrate and also contains small proportion of vitamin B and minerals like iron, phosphorus, potassium and sodium. Scientists have identified more than 20 species of rice in the world. Mainly 2 species of rice is cultivated today worldwide, the Asian rice and the African rice. Nearly all cultivated rice is the Asian rice. Small proportions of African rice is grown in western part of Africa. On the basis of origin and geographical concentration, rice is classified into 3 major groups. The indica rice grown in India and other tropical regions. This is a more temperature-seeking plant and is found in the warmer regions like India, Bangladesh, Indonesia and southern parts of China. Japonica rice is grown in cooler areas of Asia. It is found in temperate climate and requires more fertilizers. It is mostly found in Japan, Korea and Philippines. Besides these 2 varieties, there is Japonica rice that is grown in some islands of Indonesia. Let's look into some of the major geographical conditions necessary for the growth of rice. Rice is basically a kharif crop that is grown during the monsoon rainfall. Hence, the crop requires high temperature with high annual rainfall and humidity. Overall sunny parts having moderate to high temperature is ideal for the growth of rice. Hence, rice requires an annual average temperature between 20 degrees Celsius to 27 degrees Celsius as ideal for its cultivation. The minimum temperature should not go below 15 degrees Celsius as the germination cannot take place below that temperature. Rice is a rain-fed crop. The average annual water requirement is generally between 175 to 300 centimeter rainfall. However, the areas that receive more than 100 centimeter of rainfall is good for the growth of crop. At its initial maturing period, waterlogging helps in the quick growth of the plant. Rice grows well in a uniform level surface. Riverine floodplains with very little undulations in the vast plains of Southeast Asia are famous for rice cultivation. Fertile riverine alluvial soil is best for rice cultivation. The crop also grows well in alluvial, clayey and loamy soils. The clayey loamy soil in the monsoon land is also considered best for rice cultivation as the water retention capacity of this soil is very high. Besides these geographical conditions, rice is basically a labor-intensive activity. Hence, large number of cheap labor is required for the cultivation of rice. Now let's look into the major rice producing nations in the world. China is the largest producer of rice in the world. It produced 104 48.5 million metric tons of rice in 2018-19. It is a traditional rice producing nation, and hence the intensity of rice cropping is spectacular in this country. Generally, the high productivity per hectare in China owes to the high labor intensive farming and the use of HYV seeds. The major producing regions of rice in China are the Sichuan region, the Lower Yangtze Basin, Southwest region, Guangdong region, and Sichuan-Hunan region. The Sichuan region is the largest rice producing region in China. Age-old irrigation system, favorable geographical condition, cheap labor, fertile alluvial riverine soil, and traditional skill enabled this region to produce huge amount of high-quality rice. The Lower Yangtze Basin is highly fertile, and the high population density also makes the region an outstanding producer of high-quality rice. Despite extreme climate and rugged terrain, the southwest region produces good quality of rice. The Guangdong region generally grows rice with the aid of irrigation facilities. The Sichuan-Hunan region is highly fertile province, and this region hence produces rice by wet farming. India is the second largest rice producing country in the world. It is the staple food crop of the country, especially in the southern parts of the nation. However, the production per hectare is very low in this region owing to the traditional agricultural practices. High productivity per hectare can be found in the Gangetic and the Brahmaputra river valley as well as in the coastal areas of the country. West Bengal is the largest producer of rice in the country. Besides West Bengal, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Orissa, and Assam also produces huge amount of rice. Indonesia is the third largest rice producer in the world. The rice is cultivated in numerous islands. However, most of the rice is cultivated in three major regions: the Java Island, the Sumatra, and the Borneo Islands. Bangladesh is the fourth largest producer of rice in the world. The country produced 34.9 million metric tons of rice in 2018-17. Rice is the predominant cereal crop of Bangladesh. High rainfall, fertile alluvial land, and cheap labor aids to the rice cultivation in the nation. Except some mountainous parts of Chittagong hilly tract, rice is cultivated in the entire Bangladesh. However, seasonal flooding, erratic monsoon, lack of capital, and agricultural inputs are the major constraints for the low productivity in Bangladesh. Besides these nations, the Southeast Asian nations together produces half of the global world rice production. The Mekong-Manang fertile alluvial plain in Vietnam and Thailand, the Irrawaddy floodplain in Myanmar, the Red Basin in Vietnam and Laos, Cambodia, Philippines are all traditional rice producing countries. Besides these Southeast Asian nations, Brazil, USA, and France are the major producers of rice. Brazil accounts for nearly 2.5% of the global rice production. Even though the production of rice is very high in the Southeast Asian nations of China and India, the internal consumption of the food grain is very high in these countries. Hence, these two countries exports very less amount of rice in the world market. Thailand and Myanmar are the leading exporters of rice in the world, and hence they are considered to be the rice bowl of Asia. Besides Thailand and Myanmar, The other major exporters of rice in the world are USA, Pakistan, Sri Lanka and Vietnam. I hope you had a nice session today. We will be back with another crop next day. Till then, have a great day ahead.